under King Solomon, after King Solomon died, well, he had two sons, Jeroboam and Rehoboam. They were going at it. That's when the nation split up. You had Judah, Benjamin, and Levi became what you know as the southern kingdom, and then you had the northern kingdom. That's why today, even though you don't realize it, or you do realize it, Negroes and Latinos, you kind of have a stigmatism between us.
Chronologically, where is Moses and the Jews in terms of building the pyramids?
Moses wasn't a Jew.
Okay, in terms of where are we building the pyramids?
We were building the pyramids in Egypt while we were in captivity.
We, again, the same we.
The Negroes, Latinos, and everybody.
Okay, got it. So
after all that took place,
there were no Jews at that time.
No, there were Jews. I said Moses wasn't a Jew.
But who are you classifying as a Jew?
No, I'm asking
people
y'all,
that say
who's Jew? I'm asking all the questions right now. I have no idea.
That's what I said. I got you.
No, but you said there was no Jews at the time.
Well,
he asked.
Yeah, I'm asking who's Jewish at the time? Because you've identified these three tribes,
right.
Judah, Benjamin, and Levi's, who were building pyramids.
Right, not just Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, also.
Teaches us it was the Jews enslaved, which you're saying it's these.
You said the history teaches us what? Can you clarify?
It's also the Jews. I'm not saying it's not these people that also were enslaved as part of the whole.
Okay.
Yeah,
now let me show you something. The
I'm
word Jew is short for Judah. Let's get that understanding.
Okay, so it's part of that tribe. That's what you're saying. Because that makes a lot of sense.
It is. Listen,
okay,
that
makes a lot of sense.
All right, listen.
Now you're talking.
Like, you know, if somebody's name is Michael, his family might go around calling him what? Mike, for short.
I like it.
Jew is just short for saying Judah. So if you a Jew, you come from the tribe of Judah. The Apostle Paul came from the tribe of Benjamin. He wasn't a Jew. Moses came from the tribe of Levi. He wasn't a Jew.
They wandered 40 years in the desert. Who's in 40 years in the desert?
Who did what?
I'm sorry, who's in the desert with
all 12 tribes of the children of Israel.
All 12 tribes before they split up, though. It's just
this
the three.
Is way before they split up. This is almost about 480 years before that split. Even probably 500.
All right. So then, Ten Commandments come out. At what point do they split into the tribes? What time do they disperse among the earth?
Okay, you know the story that Moses. Okay, we don't get it, but that's in the curses, by the way.
No, that's
beautiful that you asked that.
Because I'm asking. That's what I'm really at. That's what I'm trying to get at.
I know that's what you're trying to get. That's why I asked you what happened in 1899, so I can ask you what happened in 1890.
I'm telling you what happened in history.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you what happened in Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico got rocked by 2 hurricanes. Puerto Rico and Cuba were the #1 runners in sugar sales for the world trade at that time. They got rocked by 2 hurricanes, completely decimating the sugar. So who was next in line? Hawaii. Where did all those Puerto Ricans immigrate to? In 1990, the next year. 1890. They migrated to the islands of Hawaii because they were looking for experienced cheap labor. So a lot of people in Hawaii right now are actually Ephraimites.
Or the Spanish are taking over the Philippines.
No, but we're not talking about the Spanish conquistadors. Those are Edomites. I'm talking about your Taino ancestors. There's 2 different people.
Yeah.
And that's why you did mix up.
So you're saying
the word Spanish is actually derogatory towards you.
Right.
Because the ish is a suffix which means kind of like or pertaining to. When they conquered you, they didn't call you Spaniards. They called you Spanish. Kind of like Spaniards. Kind of us. Because they gave you your language and your religion, but you're still not my people.
It's just like the people that call themselves Jewish. They're not the real Jews.
I would call you guys Africanish.
Right, we don't call out. We call ourselves. We ain't African.
That's facts.
I call myself Hispanic, which is a completely different ethnicity than Spanish. I don't call myself Spanish. I call myself Hispanic.
Okay, he comes from Esau, Jacob's older twin brother.
Yep.
If you read somebody want to get that? But the purpose that we were trying to tell you. Oh, you asked the diaspora, right?
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna give you a quick rundown. Moses gave us through the Spirit of the Lord. He gave us 2 choices. You follow the laws, will bless you. You don't follow my laws, Esau. Obviously, okay, go ahead.
This is Numbers chapter 1, verse 18. And they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the 2nd month, and they declared their pedigrees after their families by the house of their fathers, according to the number of the names from 20 years old and upward by their polls. So in the wilderness area, that's when they separated by tribes. That's why they declared their pedigree by their fathers. If your father was an Ephraimite, you dwelt with the Ephraimites in the wilderness.
So I'm going to speak to you about another one.
Wait, we didn't even get to the diaspora.
No, because you're talking about the diaspora right now.
So that's talking about the scattering of, that was talking about the scattering of the tribes within themselves in the wilderness.
So do you know what Mormons believe?
Yeah, we know what Mormons believe.
What do Mormons believe?
Well, ultimately, they believe if you have black skin, you're cursed.
No. What do Mormons believe? Tell me. About America, what do they believe?
They believe
They
that
believe that
Christ came.
Joseph Smith.
Joseph Smith, yeah, okay.
All right, tell me.
No, but
Okay, well that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah, he had a vision of Paul, you know, was it Paul and all that stuff.
So let's get to that. So Joseph Smith went into like the woods by himself, much like we found the Ten Commandments, very similarly. And he found his own tablets, and those were the tablets that Jesus had left in the New World.
Okay, and what's your point?
My point is that if all these tribes came to the New World, was to say that Mormonism is somehow tied in to these tribes. I'm just posing the question.
But don't the
Doesn't that make perfect sense that Jesus
All-
would come to the New
all
World?
of the
where
tribes-
all these tribes are in the New World.
all
Does
of
that
the
make
tribes
sense?
didn't come to the New World. 10 tribes came to the New World.
10
And
tribes.
3 tribes,
Without direction.
huh?
Without the
I got a
direction of
precept.
God.
I got a precept.
No, he just read about this. They knew how to get here because King Solomon was already coming here with his established nation. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
But doesn't Joseph Smith make so much sense?
No.
No, he
These 10
doesn't.
tribes?
Joseph Smith has so many contradictions. Even going into the whole black skin.
This has a lot of contradictions.
Well,
too.
in the book of Nephi, it
Should lack
says,
understanding.
What's one contradiction?
black skin. That's a
It's okay.
curse.
When we know that
In the
black
more,
skin
in
is
the
a curse.
more, in the more,
You ain't gonna
Science even tells you that blonde hair,
If you
blue
go
eyes
into
is...
the Bible, you go into Ruth, it tells you shouldn't touch a woman while she's having her period, essentially.
Okay.
I mean, wouldn't that make sense?
That makes
Well,
sense.
that's a cleansing period. Wouldn't that make sense to you?
Now in the modern age, as a health thing, looking back to the poor health conditions back then, that does make sense.
But that's why
So,
the Most
but
High
is
gave
that a
us those
custom
laws.
that we kept back then? Did we do that back then?
As far as the Bible tells us,
That we had sex with a woman on her period? Or
no, we
touched a
didn't.
woman
We
on
didn't
her
touch her
period?
because she was
staying
bleeding.
away.
Look, let's open book. Let's open
Okay,
Ruth.
no, but we know that.
read about it.
No, but we know that. But what is your point when you said that?
What I'm saying
How is that
the
a contradiction?
Bible is built in archaic terms in terms of a people that don't understand modern medical science.
What's modern medical science?
Who's had sex with a woman? Who's touched a woman on her period? I've kissed a woman on her
Yeah,
period.
but that's why the Lord sent His Son to die for our sins. Because we can't keep the laws to our best of our ability right now. Because we're in our enemy's kingdom. And that's what you don't understand. Listen, I'm gonna tell you.
I'm telling you what
I'm gonna
the
tell you.
Bible
I'm gonna tell you.
Oh, do you know anything that a woman touches when she's on her period is unclean?
not
Anywhere she sits,
Is it unclean? I'm asking you.
according to the scriptures, is unclean.
It is
Anywhere
anything
she sits,
touches-
anything she touches is unclean.
No.
You know
No,
what
it
did
didn't change. The only thing that
No, it
changed in
did
the New Testament is that we have a way to repent for our sins. That's it.
Every time a woman touches an object while she's on her period, she
It's
gotta repent for her
unclean.
sins.
She's supposed to be not even in the same house as you.
Yeah,
It's not a
very
sin.
confused.
It's not a sin that she's on her period. She's not repenting for her sins, but anything that she touches
It's
is
unclean.
Exactly.
That doesn't make more sense that a people that didn't understand what was happening made this rule because of the dangers of violence.
You're somewhat right.
I'm asking a
No,
question.
you're somewhat right.
I got a
Because
precept.
we didn't understand the value of the laws back then.
And you know what? And monks, how did they made medicine?
Okay, let me ask you a question. A lot of exactly. The Lord tells you, if you choose my laws and live, you can choose not to obey my laws and die. That's a spiritual death. That's also a physical death. A lot of these laws, like for instance, not to eat pork. I
tell
can
that.
tell.
I love pork.
Yeah, but it's a sin.
Puerto Rican tell.
It's a sin to eat pork. Okay? But listen to me. It's a sin to eat pork. Back then, the Lord said, don't eat pork. But guess what? Because our people are stiff-necked and, like you said, love eating pork, we didn't understand the effects that it had on us until we started going off and eating it. Now we're starting to see what it does to our people. Hypertension, high blood pressure. heart attacks at 30.
I got a preacher for you when you ready.
You're contradicting yourself with modern science.
You got a preacher for you.
What is modern science?
I got a.
Modern science is saying everything he's saying. But modern science only exists in contradiction to all of religion.
No.
And modern religion has been following modern science.
Do you even
the entire
believe in?
way.
Do you believe?
So
He believes in
modern
God.
science-
The brother brought up a good point. Modern
what I'm
science
saying.
it says when a woman's on her period, stick a tampon up there,
And
let
stop
the
it.
blood just soak up while it's inside
That makes
of
sense
it.
to him,
That's
though.
what modern science.
That
Modern
makes sense to him.
science. Hey,
That's
when
better
you
than what the Bible tells
when
you
you
to
go
do.
to a hospital,
touch
right?
her?
Can I ask you a question?
Do they not get
When you
poisoned
go-
from that?
Listen, check
Do
this
they
out.
not get sick from that?
Check this
Yo,
out.
I-
You retarded, bro.
Right.
Listen, when
Hold
you
on,
go
hold
to a
on.
hospital, when you go to a hospital, right, and the doctor and the surgeon is about to commence a surgery, right? What does he do? When his tools usually come from what? A vacuum sealed bag, right?
Sterilized.
Sterilized, but they're also vacuum sealed as
They're
well.
sterilized, not vacuum sealed. Sterilized.
So when the doctors get the syringes, you never seen the doctor open the syringe like this and pull out the syringe and the needle and give shots?
Yes.
Okay, but that bag is then vacuum sealed to keep that sterilization of that instrument.
Correct.
Okay?
Because it takes less time to sterilize.
Okay. Now check this out.
Or one time a
When a woman goes to the store to buy her pads, right? And when she's on her period, you ever seen a pad and just open it? It's just
They're vacuum sealed inside.
they're not vacuum sealed.
No, they're not.
They're not vacuum sealed, man.
Does anybody actually open?
I have opened them.
Go buy
Yeah,
some.
you go buy some
Go buy
pads.
some.
Go buy some
If
pads.
it pops, it's vacuum sealed.
Go
Ready?
buy some pads. Go buy some pads. Yeah. That's what I was just telling you.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 5. Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Lord my power commanded me, that ye should do so in the land whither ye go to possess it. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. But what nation is there so great who hath God so nigh unto them, as the Lord our power is in all things that we call upon him for?
Can you go back to the
Deuteronomy
wisdom?
chapter 4, verse 6. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom. This is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations.
Yeah.
Wisdom and understanding.
You can pop
Heard that?
If you can pop some, you're vacuum sealed. Guys.
Right, but you said if.
They're vacuum
Why
sealed.
would you use the word if in that sentence? If you can pop it, because that leads me to believe there's some that can't pop and there's some that won't.
But how about that can be used for this entire conversation?
I'm just saying
If
that.
I believe in anything you guys have ever
Right.
said, like,
It's okay. It's okay. I just.
He
if I
obviously
said-
doesn't know anything.
Yeah,
First
you
of
know
all,
what I'm
the ink that it causes toxic. You don't know nothing. I ain't even going in there. But anyway, you're wrong.
Nah, you know what this
anyway,
is?
I got this. Let
Hey,
me
just
let me
get
bring the
Jose
scriptures
in,
out. I
get
got the
Jose in.
scriptures.
We
Hold
know
on,
you from-
real quick.
Relax, Doc, relax, man.
My bad. I got a script on it.
Yo, yeah, I
So
see
good.
that
Slow
all
down.
dripping off him. Yeah, yeah. And my baby, my girl's
I'm the
Puerto Rican. I know her parents
Who's an engineer?
Oh, he got a
Yeah.
Who's a
precept.
science type in this crowd?
You got it up. Bring the precept up.
Anybody a science type? Anybody
This
study
is
science?
1 John chapter 5 verse 3.
Any biological,
That's crazy.
medical, engineering, anything like that. Anybody in this crowd has studied any of that besides religion?
No.
Bring out,
Conversation.
Okay, good job. Who gave you that degree though?
bring out your precept.
This is 1 John chapter 5 verse 3. For this is the love of Yahawah, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous.
And the Lord basically broke down to us that the wisdom of this world is foolishness with the Lord. So this world looks at the law, statutes, and commandments of the Lord, and they scoff at it because the turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay. So they look at the law, statutes, and commandments of the Lord as archaic. They said, he said he loves pork, not realizing that in the ecosystem, pigs are scavengers, just like shrimp. They're in the family of scavengers. The role of pigs and shrimp in the ecosystem is to clean up shit and anything else that's not wanted in the environment, man. Whether it be in the water or on land, man. That's why the Lord told us not to eat those foods. We're supposed to be eating meat that actually eats grass and cud. Because that's a second way of getting your plants outside of just eating straight vegetation and fruits. No, we're not what modern day Christians. We don't believe in what modern day Christianity believes in. We are true followers of the one that they call Christ, which his name is YAHAWASHI.
Yeah, we believe in the scriptures. We don't believe in man's doctrine.
So Christianity doesn't believe that that this nation of people, the Lord has done away with them, and anybody can get heaven, the kingdom of heaven. Well, the Lord made a deal, a covenant with Negroes and children of Native Americans who are really one nation of people. The Lord said we were a nation above all nations. We do believe in them. We believe in both of them, in the truth. In truth, you have to worship the Father in truth. That's not what he looked like. The Lord didn't look like that. The Lord didn't look like that.
That's Jesus.
She just said that Jesus
The Lord didn't look like that.
Jesus Christos el negro, no blanco.
The Lord didn't look like that. Yeah, the Lord didn't look like that.
The scripture says that.
What's his name? Are you
And Puerto Rico?
Ephraim.
Yeah, but it's two in Hebrew and the Hebrew.
Before the white man called you Puerto Rican, after he conquered your people.
I want
Because the reason why he called you
a
Puerto Rican.
quick about that. I just did 120 months.
No, that was a man that actually lived. His name
That's
was.
right, I want to see that. Break him down real quick. Yeah, I got to go back to the east side of my house. Hey, break him down while
I got you. So this is
This man is painting.
Revelations chapter 1, verse 13. And in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to the foot, and girt about with the paps with a golden girdle. His head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire, and his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burned in a furnace.
He looked like you.
So he didn't look like that.
He didn't look like that.
That's a false image.
Right. I was just showing the sister that if you look at this right here, you actually have a picture of a man literally painted over the images white. They did that in Europe during the Renaissance.
All right, y'all.
Yeah.
Hey, you're a Hebrew Israelite, brother.
And that's the spirit of the Lord that what the Christians not going to do. They're not going to bring out precept upon precept.
I just got done doing 10 years and 1 month in the chain gang. I'm plus 16, I'm 26, my birthday next July. You feel me? My first birthday since I was 16. My 16th birthday was in the chain gang. I ain't never failed. You know, I always kept an open mind. You feel me? I noticed something.
You wanted to chose the Lord, brother. You wanted to chose.
Hey, and it's a beautiful thing when the Lord brings sincere. But you know what? The Lord always brings balance, man. Because we have brothers that sincerely came up to listen, and then you have scoffers, man.
We was out here for what, a couple hours, bro?
Yeah, I just wanted to tell that dude, yo, America's gonna get destroyed. I already seen what type of time he was playing semantics the whole time.
Yeah.
He was scoffed the moment he come up there. I knew he was. So I peeped his spirit. That's why I said just get
Hey, these people always want to talk something from some fucking science point of view. I mean,
He still got cut. You know, not
yeah, he
got cut for the
What the fuck is modern
Amplification.
science when poverty is still at an all-time
and
high?
that shit can't say yet.
What's modern science?
I
What's
got
modern
a
science?
precept.
Explain that to me.
This is Romans chapter 3, verse 3. For what if some did not believe? Shall their unbelief make the faith of the Most High without effect? God forbid. Yea, let God be true, YAHAWASHI, but every man a liar, as it is written, that thou mightest be justified in thy sayings, and mightest overcome when thou art judged. Because we're speaking out of the words of YAHAWASHI. He's speaking out of idle words, and he's going to be judged for that, just like we're going to be judged for our words.
got you right here. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 8, verse 15. Let thy talk be with the wise, and all thy communication in the law of the Most High.
And he scoffed at the law of the Most High. He completely despised the law of the Most High because he wanted to touch his woman on her period and eat pork.
Yeah.
The simplest things of the law he was hung up on, man.
Overall, he just wants to be a fucking
And he might beat him.
He wants to-
He might straight up beat
just
him.
wanted to be a-
This woman on her fucking
He just wants to be an Edomite, man.
Yeah,
That's
he
it,
might
man.
be one, man.
He came in the spirit of an Edomite, man.
In 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 3. But if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost, in whom the God of this world hath blinded the minds of them which believe not, lest the light of the glorious gospel of Hamashiach, who is the image of power, should shine unto them.
Right, that's like that jackass. The gospel is hid from him, man. There's no light in that guy, man. He wanna fucking eat pork. He wanna do all and come up there with fucking science, man.
But I asked him, I said, what does science mean? He said biology. Come on, but then you're gonna try to make it seem like because brothers up here ain't engineers, you don't know what nobody did, what kind of experience and background anybody has.
Right, they're going off a degree.
You're going off of degrees. But what's a degree? Who gave you the degree? According to whose wisdom, knowledge, and understanding? How you get a degree from somebody who's bombing the same fucking earth and poisoning the same air he has to breathe? Come on, man.
This is 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 20. Where is the wise? Where is the scribe? Where is the disputer of this world? Hath not YAHAWASHI made foolish the wisdom of this world? For after that in the wisdom of the Most High, the world by wisdom knew not the Most High. And the wisdom of this world is to say that there is no God. That everything here has been made on randomness.
And there's sorry to cut you off, Doc. And there's no wisdom in them people, man, because they deal with everything logically, man. This is by faith, man. You know?
Oh, I got another one. This is 1 Corinthians 2, verse 14. I start at 13, 12. Now we have received not the spirit of the world, but the spirit which is of the Most High, that we might know the things that are freely given to us of the Most High. Which things also we speak, not in the words which man's wisdom teacheth, but which the Holy Spirit teacheth, comparing spiritual things with spiritual. But the natural man receiveth not the things of the Spirit of the Most High, for they are foolishness unto him, neither can he know them, because they are spiritually discerned.
Yo, that's heavy. The scripture says that it's freely given of the Most High. But then Esau wants to sell his fake knowledge that don't go nowhere, man. But exactly. But the Most High said he freely gives his, and that's how you know that this word and that this understanding is the most, it's priceless, man. But it's worth the most, man. There's nothing that's worth more than this word, man.
All right,
I got one for you though. For that. I just want to get this out for that one devil. It's John chapter 8 and verse 44. I wish you was here. Ye are of your father the devil, and the lust of your father ye will do, like the brother brought out Olive Court, you know, touching this girl on her period. The lust of your father ye will do. He was a murderer from the beginning and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it. And because I tell you the truth, you believe me not?
And the wisdom of this world ultimately teaches you to be a Satanist, man. To rebel against the word of the Lord, man. Because all of the doctrines of the so-called white man teaches you to be your own person, do whatever feels good to you. Whatever's right in you, exactly. Whatever's right in your eyes. But the Lord has given structure and design, and people don't want to return to the light because their deeds are dark, man. It says men love darkness rather than light, man. You know what? This is Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 23. Be not curious in unnecessary matters, for more things are showed unto thee than men understand. So getting bent out of shape over a scoffer who don't know shit, the Lord has given us the riches. The Lord has given us the understanding. It's nothing that he can do to change that. The words of the Lord are going to take place and going to have effect, whether he believes it or not. And the Lord has given us the spirit to be on this side as opposed to that side. That's nothing. It's nothing he can do about that. So it ain't no getting bent out of shape over a scoffer. These scoffers can't do nothing. They can't take your crown, man.
And that's crazy because he asked us a basic question to show him how the tribes correlate. Hey, but you see how the Lord didn't put the spirit on it for us to do it?
All the way to
The
sign.
Most High, he came up here just to get judged, you know what I'm saying, for what he just, that scoffer, just to be a scoffer, man. So for he fulfilled prophecy, and he ain't even realized.
Yo, but just like the brother said, he wanted to be hand-fed every little, every little detail, every little thing, man.
That's true.
Get the fuck out of here, man.
Prove every little thing. Where is it?
Right.
That's because he was a scoffer. He was a non-believer.
Go home and eat the roll.
And the crazy part about it, I heard her saying that it takes more faith to believe there is no God than it is to believe there is a God.
It does.
Of course.
That takes faith.
Every day you know there's a God. You gotta psych yourself up, bro.
That's a fact.
Exactly.
That's a fact.
No, that wasn't God. That wasn't him.
That was luck.
Yeah, man, the
Exactly.
Most High destroyed a nigga like that, man. He compared the words of the Heavenly Father to Joseph Smith. What's his name? Salakia.
Yeah, that was Joseph Smith.
Hey, the Lord gonna destroy him for that, man. How you doing? Brother?
What's up, brother? Shalom, shalom. Yeah, shalom, shalom. Yeah, because the wisdom of this world is going to be made foolishness in that day, man. Like, everybody can scoff at prophets prophesying until it actually go down, man. And that's what the Lord gave us. That's why he said I didn't call many wise or many mighty. I called the weak things of this world to confound the wise, man. So he can feel like he got a victory, but he's not going to win the war. The Lord put us on this side on the winning team, man. We on hashtag winning. Ain't no losers going to take us out of our circle, man.
Hey, Scripture says you shall know a prophet was among you, man.
Exactly.
In that day, my servant, you shall be hungry, my servant shall eat.
In that
You shall
day,
be thirsty, and my servant shall drink, man.
in that day, a simple look is going to be like I told you so. Just to
Right.
see a prophet in the day of all hell breaking loose, it's going to be that I told you so moment.
Okay. All right, no problem.
All right,
Hey,
brother, you got a question?
Now,
I wish we had a
you can
call.
follow us on you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, GMSORLANDO.
That's beautiful, man.
And we
It's
out
like
here
it.
every Saturday
It's like it.
at 8
It's
o'clock.
like it. I ain't mean to.
8:30.
I know, but
It's order, man.
I know.
That's why I told you we balance each other out, man.
You right,
I
you
don't
right.
tell that nigga do it.
Yo, hey, he be ready. I'll be ready to cut a
I don't
nigga
like them
head off.
scoffers, man.
He say, look, we ain't about to speed food. Get up the street. Because you know what? Because through the spirit and power of YAHAWASHI, every time the conversation goes spiritually well, the Lord sends some break in the spirit to break the chain, man.
We had bro out here for a while.
Yes,
Brother
man.
came up.
What was it? Was it gay?
He was Issachar, and his first word to us was, "Why Issachar got to be on the bottom, man? We always get the worst." Yeah, he was like, we always get the worst of it. He was like, man, we get hated more than all the other tribes, and we started breaking stuff down. He had already saw our videos, and he had got caught up on the rape. He got caught up on the he said they
I watched y'all
got a one with the
videos.
hat. He said,
I got one problem with y'all. The whole
raping little girls. And then we went into it and we broke it down to him. Once we broke it down to him, he understood, okay, I get what y'all saying. The dude that was sitting in the cut with his hat, we were breaking it down to him, man.
I thought you were talking about
Nah, they had just came up. And the spirit was on him, man. Because the Lord, man, the Lord is sending us comfort, man, through the sincere listeners, man, that's coming out and giving us the opportunity to bring out more than just the so-called white man's the devil and they're going into slavery. And that's why the Lord's sending sincere people with questions, man. Because not only are we able to bring out more of the scriptures, but it sharpens us as well, man. You know?
Esau just one topic. It's millions of topics in this book.
It's a lot of truth that the Lord has that hasn't been revealed, man. It's a lot of lies that have been pushed out here and accepted as fact. And we have to, we're the light of the world, like Yahawashi said, man. You know, we have to bring that whole, we have to bring the light to cast away the darkness, man. And that's why people see this and get offended and they want to cast us aside. They don't want us out here on the street corners. That's why the government is starting to censor YouTube, censor free speech, because the light is starting to spread, man. And Esau had the world in darkness for so long that now light is offensive, man.
Can I ask you a question? This is really for the viewers of YouTube and anybody. What the fuck is an engineer gonna do for you that day? What's being an engineer or understanding science gonna do for you in that day?
Right.
That's why the brother beautifully brought out #winning, man. Because we're telling you what's gonna happen in the future for a fact.
Right.
Meanwhile, he's in a lab studying hypotheses, which is an educated guess. But here it is, the men of the Lord are telling you what's going to happen without a shadow of a doubt.
Like realistically, the remnant of the nation of Israel is light years ahead of mankind in itself, man. We're light years ahead of humanity. You think all this technology and Esau's using it to prove that there's no power. That this all happened out of randomness. He used all this technology to try to disprove something we already know in the spirit, which was a gift from the Lord, man.
Big Bang, random, like Big Bang, the Big Bang, completely random.
The Lord took our faith and channeled it in the right place. Everybody else on this planet got faith. It's just in folly, man. That's the only difference. They believe in something that's empty.
It's idle.
It's idle. It's vain.
It's dead.
That's why Solomon was talking about all this vanity and vexation of spirit, man. Because there's nothing here that's going to give you the kingdom of heaven, man. And Solomon had it all, man. And for him to say all this vanity and vexation of spirit, that means it ain't nothing on the planet Earth better than the kingdom of heaven. And he knew that, man. And the Lord gave us the mystery to know that. So we winning already, man. Our job is to keep winning.
And that's why Solomon asked for wisdom over everything.
Exactly, man. Because wisdom is going to prevail in the grand scheme of eternity. The gold that you gather today is going to be gone tomorrow and given to somebody else. And the scriptures talk about that. Wisdom is how a man's name is known, man. Especially amongst the Lord, which is who you want your name known amongst, man.
Yo, if that's not a trick bag, then tell me what is. The Most High gave us everything you just said for free.
Exactly.
And then held it back from people like that because in this world they think there's some shit because they got degrees in engineering.
And they only want the wisdom so they could get degrees and look good for the people, man. They don't want, that's why the Lord said, that's why the Lord took the laws from the nation of YAHAWAH, because they did it for the works. They didn't do it because they had faith in the Lord and they wanted to get right. They did it because they were taught to do it, traditions of men.
And if he was
even
a
though
real
it was righteous.
scientist, he wouldn't be fucking eating pork anyway. Because
Right.
a lot of scientists know about the worm. Right now, there's a worm inside the pig. That's
Can't
why
kill
a
it.
lot of our people, they say you if you cook it at a certain temperature or for a certain length of time, but that worm can't die. And the scientists even know that. They even developed a radiation that they actually are beaming into the pigs right now to kill the worm, man. They're giving pigs chemo just to feed it to you. But this man is a scientist, man. Man, you know what you are? You a Hebrew Israelite from the tribe of Ephraim, which is slated for destruction, man. How
You
about
better
that?
hope, man. You better hope.
Hypothesize that.
You better hope you an Israelite from the tribe.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I
You
gave him
better
the benefit
fucking
of the
hope. You
doubt.
better
I
fucking
gave
hope
him the benefit
that
of
he
the
gonna
doubt.
get in the kingdom and feel bad. He better hope that that's his case, man. Because even in the kingdom, Israel that's been bucking up, they're gonna get in the kingdom, and that's why they're gonna feel bad, because they know they ain't do nothing to deserve the mercy that they've been given. Even though our effort is as our righteousness is as filthy rags, the elect are gonna have the reverence for trying, man. They're gonna have the reverence for showing effort, for turning and seeking the Lord early, man.
Back to filthy rags.
But this world uses the wisdom to prosper in vanity, man. They don't use the wisdom having faith, man. And that's why Israel lost its blessing and got cast out of the land. This is Romans chapter 9, verse 29. And as Isaiah said before, except the Lord of Sabaoth had left us a seed, we had been as Sodom and been made like unto Gomorrah. What shall we say then? That the Gentiles which follow not after righteousness have attained to righteousness, even the righteousness which is of faith. But Israel, which followed after the law of righteousness hath not attained to the law of righteousness. Wherefore, which means why? Because they sought it not by faith, but as it were by the works of the law, for they stumbled at that stumbling stone. As it is written, behold, I lay in Zion a stumbling stone and rock of offense, and whosoever believeth on him shall not be ashamed. So the wisdom that the Lord gave us initially we only use it to get the rewards, man. They didn't use it in a spiritual, with a spiritual intent, man. Which is why people come here and they want the knowledge, but the Lord won't give it to them because they only going to use it for vanity. They're not going to use it to seriously get right with the Lord. Just like Israel and Judea wasn't keeping the laws and be right with the Lord. They was doing it because everybody, it was a trend in that day. It wasn't used for the sincerity of following after YAHAWASHI. Not to say that there weren't sincere men keeping the laws, but as a nation of people, the nation of Israel were using the laws just as a checklist, man. It wasn't on faith. You got to precept up.
And that's why you have brought out that scripture talking about the wisdom, the laws of wisdom and knowledge.
Right.
Proverbs 4:7 tells you, get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding.
Exactly.
So we had the wisdom, which was the laws. What we ain't have was the understanding.
Yep.
Right now, the Most High is kicking that understanding in our heads right now, man. Through that furnace of affliction, man. We're getting that understanding. And through the elect.
And through faith we're getting that understanding because the Lord's giving us faith in a grace period to fall and realize why we're falling. Understand why the Lord's put certain barriers in our way. Don't eat pork. Why? Because this is the result of your nation when you do that. But the grace period allows us to say, oh shit, I ate pork before. Now I realize why the Lord don't want me to do that, man.
Right. The Most High gave us examples because in the men of the Lord, you get to see your people, man. You get to see their spiritual death.
Right.
Being young. Hey, that's why I tell people, when you don't follow these laws to the best of your ability, it brings a spiritual death and it also brings a physical death, man. And that spiritual death happens way more quicker than that physical death. Because when you're spiritually dead and you're a zombie in this society, all that you're really waiting for is to physically die, man.
What did the Lord say in Revelations 11? It said their bodies lay in the street and nobody suffered to put them in graves because spiritually our people have no understanding, man. And without understanding, you're likened unto a beast, man.
Right, that's why Jeremiah, the valley of the dry bones, man, he said, speak unto them and bring life, man. And then I will put the sinews upon them, man.
It's Colossians chapter 2, verse 2. It says that their hearts might be comforted, being knit together in love unto all riches of full assurance of understanding, to the acknowledgement of the mysteries of God and of the Father and of Hamashiach, in whom are hid all the treasures of wisdom and knowledge. And this I say, lest any man should beguile you with enticing words. But though I be absent in the flesh, yet am I with you in the spirit, joined and beholding your order, and the steadfastness of your faith in Hamashiach, as ye have therefore received Hamashiach Yahawashi, the Lord, so walk ye in him, rooted and built up in him, established in the faith, as ye have been taught, abounding therein with thanksgiving. Right. It say, for in him you have all fullness of the Godhead bodily.
Exactly. So enticing words ain't gonna take the hopeful elect off their pivot, man. Unless the Lord wills it, man. Enticing words not gonna take us from the treasure that has been hid from the entire world, man.
Right. That's why the Lord said, we can't be plucked out of
exactly. Because this is not of man's wisdom, man. The Lord gave us the understanding, and He gave us the boldness to come out here and proclaim it, man. Because all these people believe in something, they just cowards. They don't stand up for anything, man. Until they see somebody stand up for what they believe in. All we get is people who come up here and come against our what we believe in, which is the truth, which is YAHAWASHI's words and testimonies. But they're not out here teaching people what they believe in, man. They only turn into a scholar when they see scholars, man.
And that's beautiful. That's beautiful too that you just brought that out, because when we teach YAHAWASHI, we teach this in one accord, man. When you look at these other scholars that were so-called scholars, the brothers just talking about, they're not even in one accord. Look at the Catholic religion. They have denomination after denomination after denomination. The Lord said He's not the author of confusion, man. Right? So if that was the truth, they would have one denomination, they'd all be teaching the truth. But you got like 19 different denominations and they feel they're teaching the truth. You know?
This is John chapter 10, verse 25. Yahawashi answered them, I told you, and ye believe not. The works that I do in my Father's name, they bear witness of me. But ye believe not, because ye are not of my sheep. As I said unto you, my sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me. And I give unto them eternal life, and they shall never perish, neither shall any man pluck them out of my hand. My Father which gave them me is greater than all, and no man is able to pluck them out of my Father's hand.
Exactly. So the enticing words of man, they gonna move the elect off their pivot, because the Lord, from the foundation of the earth, already planned for them to get this, man. You got the whole world against the doctrine of YAHAWASHI. What are you gonna do, man? We already got the W. Keeping the W is the hard part, and really it's not hard, man. If you stay diligent in YAHAWASHI's words, you got nothing to worry about. Because this time around, it's about that faith, man. And the faith is being shown through the works, man. The men, women, and children that believe in YAHAWASHI and have separated themselves from the Lord, no man can bring them back into the world, man. If the Lord has ordained for them to have that, man. You gotta...
This is John chapter 10, verse 29. My Father which gave them me is greater than all, and no man is able to pluck them out of my Father's hand.
Right, that's the spirit, right? No man can pluck them out of the Most High's hand. But on the flip side, you can't add to that either.
Exactly.
Okay? And in these Christian churches, they think they can save everybody.
Right.
And telling people that they're saved. The same way you can't pluck the elect out of the Most High's hand, you can't add none of the 2/3 to the Most High's hand. Or the heathen, they come. I was even going to give them no, like, they, you know what I'm saying? Fuck the heathen.
Right.
You feel me? John 17:9, not even Yahawashi can. That's why he said, what? I pray for them, I pray not for the world, man. So even with them thinking they can add to the Most High, they still going off, man. Right. If you ain't teaching according to YAHAWASHI, according to this word, man, there's no light in you. That's the spirit, man. That's it. Scripture says, believe it on me, as the scriptures have said, out of his belly shall flow rivers of living waters. Now, why would it be in your belly? Because you got to eat this whole roll, right? And digest it, man. And get it. And with all that getting, get understanding, man.
And that's the most important part, because at the end of the day, you can't pluck out the elect and you can't add them to that number, because the elect are separate and holy because they've been given the gift of faith. Right. It all boils down on this end to faith. You either have the faith that's going to grow into righteousness and you're going to abound in the love of YAHAWASHI, or you don't have it. It's either one or the other. The Lord's word and his doctrine is not for everybody, man. Not even for all Israel, man. And Paul said that. Israel have not obtained that which is seeking for. Because you have people that may sincerely want to get this. But their flesh just won't, the Lord won't allow them to come into this, man. Their flesh and their pride is a barrier. And the Lord ordained it to be that way.
Like you said, a stumbling block.
Man.
Yeah. And that's who Yahawashi was in the days of old, and now Yahawashi is the same in the days of new. Because this regurgitated so-called white man that painted as the Lord and the doctrine that comes with him is not of the Lord, man. That's not going to attract his sheep, man. That's going to attract every other piece of filth and undesirable, man. And that's exactly what it attracts. It's like the so-called white man painting himself as Jesus and all our people following it. That's a vacuum cleaner. Get rid of all the wicked. One bag. One big bag. And they let drain their pockets while you get them too. Drain their pockets. Cause Jesus is an extortionist, nigga. Jesus is an extortionist. Y'all think y'all worshiping Jesus. Y'all paying to get into a kingdom that don't exist. That's a Ponzi scheme. The so-called white man is a finesser, even in the spirit. He got you invested in a 401k for a reward your ass never gonna get. You got Edomites, you got other heathens that have spent 30, 40 years putting money into the church, and they gonna die and they ain't gonna get no kingdom. They gonna say, all that money I put in, hey, you ass out.
Jesus Christ is the mob.
Yeah, man, Jesus is an extortionist, man. People going to church like Jesus, good graces. Nah, you gotta pay for admission. That collection plate go around at least twice a service, every week.
And then when you drop what you can drop, you get looked at funny, man.
And if you don't drop something, the preacher tell you that the Lord don't bless you. So that means Jesus is an extortionist, man. That means you gotta pay for his service. Come on, man. Come on, man.
Telling you the knowledge supposed to be free.
Yeah, they in the same book that say buy the truth and sell it not. The same truth that say buy the same book that say buy the truth and sell it not. They'll tell you that Jesus requires your ass to pay tithes every week, twice a week, and if you don't, you're not getting a blessing, man.
They come looking for you.
You think niggas would wake up and say, why all of our churches got boiler issues? You ever notice that shit? All the churches got boiler issues in the winter.
And all they do is start a building fund and snatch that too.
And the church still got a boiler issue the next winter.
Or they need new windows.
Yeah, the roof leaking.
It done got to the point where you got pastors talking about I need the church to give me tithes for a jet, man. And you know it's some silly Negroes in there paying for it too.
They need a jet.
You know it's some silly Negroes putting gas money on a private jet for Jesus.
They need a jet. They got a jet.
For Jesus. Putting money on Jesus' private jet. Niggas getting finessed every day, man, and they won't listen to the brothers on the highways and hedges that are preaching the truth and truth and sincerity. That's how the Lord mocking Negroes, though. In the ancient world, you knew the Lord. You had the right doctrine. Now you pay for something that ain't real.
Hey, 500 years ago we kind of, you know what I'm saying, understood certain things. You know what I mean? Hey, man. Like, Esau's the gangster, man.
Right.
He's the gangster, man. Hey, all Bumpy Johnson, Frank Lucas, Al Poe, Freeway Rick Ross. Hey, they don't got shit on the so-called white man.
Because how much money this nigga done
They
gross?
don't got shit on Jesus.
How much
man.
money this nigga done
Hey,
gross
that's
since he
the
been
real
in
gangster.
existence?
America goes to the Middle East and they seize the poppy field.
Look at him. He
Under
iced
him.
out right now. He iced out on
Under
Jake
him.
Money right now.
Under this man.
Oh, I didn't
It's
even
the
never
real
realize
gangster.
that.
Come
I
on,
didn't
man.
know that.
Come on, man. You know that's that real conquistador gold too, man.
Just
Come on,
that.
man. Jesus is an extortionist. This guy that our people worshiping, this is an extortionist. This nigga got more money than everybody, man.
Jesus got a Jesus piece.
And all the Lord said was get the truth and sell it not, man. What they have ain't even the truth, and they selling it, man. And it's going off the charts, man. The Bible is still a highest selling book, but they don't have the understanding of it. Somebody profiting off the scriptures. It ain't the Israelites.
Ain't no
Somebody's-
about that?
That's
Hey,
crazy.
for you to tell a lie, you gotta know the truth. Hey,
Right.
Jesus don't even believe in himself, man. He's like, I got you niggas in a trick bag, man. But
Y'all
that's
done
really the most
made me the money. So y'all can do whatever the hell y'all want to do now. Y'all want to dip. You got it.
This is John chapter 8, verse 31. If you continue in my word, then ye are my disciples indeed, and ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free.
Yeah, the truth has made the remnant. The truth has made them free. That's why when scoffers come up, you lock down, bro. We already been free. You trying to get on this side of the gate, man. You just don't realize it. Anybody that come up here trying to entertain the truth is really trying to get in the gate, man. And the Lord decides whether that person gets in the gate or not, man. He said, I come and knock on the door. You know, if you answer, I come in unto you. You got it, huh?
This is Job chapter 12, verse 12. With the ancient is wisdom, and in length of days is understanding. With him is wisdom and strength. He had counsel and understanding. Behold, he breaketh down, and it cannot be built again. He shutteth up a man, and there can be no opening. Behold, he withholdeth the waters, and they dry up. Also he sendeth them out, and they overturneth the earth.
So through the Spirit, you got people that's coming up here with their pail trying to get water, and the Lord dried them up, man. And we over here, hey, man, hey, it's a tsunami on this side, and they dry on that side. It's a drought. It's a drought, just like in the streets, it's a drought. Now, everybody gonna come, but everybody ain't gonna get fed, man. And that's how the Lord prophesied it was gonna be. There was gonna be some the foolish virgin wise and the wise, man. We got the oil and everybody coming trying to borrow a little bit, but they want to do it according to their standards. No, I don't want to get right completely with the Lord, but let me get some of that oil just in case. The Lord ain't just in case. You either with him or you against him, man.
He'll spew you out of his mouth, man.
Verse 16. With him is strength and wisdom. The deceived and the deceiver are his.
So even if you didn't get it, even if you came up here with pride, it was the Lord that mocked you, really. Because you stood up against the actual truth and looked like a fool, man. That's why I say, use not many words in the congregation of the Lord, man.
Keep that foot.
Exactly. Salakia, exactly. Because you might get a sacrifice of fools and be judged for it, man. You never know what the Lord might hold a man accountable for, man. Because our sins are many. That's why we pray for mercy, man. Because you never know when the Lord might check you, man. Everything Moses did, the Lord checked him on him not giving credit at the Flintstone, man. And didn't allow him to get into the promised land. So you never know when the Lord... All right, you good.
That's beautiful that you said that, because the Lord just showed us an example of that when that Ephraim, so-called Ephraimite came up.
Right.
Because he couldn't understand that in this modern day, touching your woman when she's on her period, it's just simply unclean. And I explained it to him. I said, listen, that was the importance of the Most High sending his son, because in our enemy's captivity, we can't keep all the laws 100%. But that takes faith, man. That takes faith and believing in YAHAWASHI, man. And that he's going to return, man. In his glory, man.
And it all takes faith.
You know, that takes faith. So exactly what you just said, the Most High manifested that right here with that.
Because it all take faith, brother. You on the left-hand side of the Lord, on the right-hand side. You got to have faith. Nobody has complete, tangible evidence for what they believe in, man. Point blank, period. So the Lord is even making scoffers have to have faith in what they in something that's not even true. And the reason, this is Hebrews chapter 4, verse 1. Let us therefore fear, lest a promise being left us of entering into his rest, any of you should seem to come short of it. For unto us was the gospel preached, as well as unto them. But the word preached did not profit them, not being mixed with faith in them that heard it. So he couldn't get it because it wasn't mixed with faith, man. He wasn't able to understand what we're talking about. Just like it was given to him. Just like the rest of these people, they walk by and they don't understand what's being said because it's not given unto them. Because faith is not mixed in it.
It's all up to the Most High's election, because really, truly, look at Thomas, man.
Yeah.
Even though Thomas had the seed of Yahawashi's wounds, Most High still had mercy on him and gave him the spirit. You know what I'm saying? But if the Most High is just not dealing with you and it's not given to you, it's just simply not given to you, man.
That's why I say let us fear, man.
There's some people that have to be persuaded in that manner, but as soon as they get persuaded in that manner, they hit the ground running.
It happened to Paul.
This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 13, verse 8. Howbeit, neither are they to be pardoned. For if they were able to know so much that they could aim at the world, how did they not sooner find out the Lord thereof? But
because you got people that have used the wisdom of this world to try to confound that there's no Lord. But if you know all of this stuff, you haven't come to the conclusion that there's a power that exists, that maybe this wasn't just an accident, that maybe all of this life that exists on this planet and the many innumerable galaxies that they can't number are out there in the world in that particular order for us to have life here. All of that's just by chance. Does that not take a huge spoonful of faith to believe that, man? But because men's deeds are dark, that gives them comfort to continue in their darkness, man. Because if I believe all of this is random, then I don't have to be held accountable for my actions. There's no repercussion for my actions. I can do whatever I want to do to anybody. And that's the kind of society that's being built. It's the kind of society where you don't have to be held accountable. You just got to be able to get away with it. Don't matter what you do as long as you can get away with it or pay the right person to pardon you.
It's not what happened, it's what you can prove.
Exactly. And that's a wicked mind state, man. That's not righteous judgment. And that's why the Lord said, behold, I looked, and there was no justice, man. There's no justice going on in this world, man. And they use the wisdom of this world to say that it's cool if it goes this way. Do what thou wilt. All this technology we have, do what thou wilt. There is no God. Even though we can't leave our planet, there is no God. You got it, huh?
You got more than that or not?
And what the brother brought out too, they're not going to be pardoned for that, man. We're coming to the Lord sincerely hoping that we receive a pardon. But for the vanity that they have used with their lips and in their thoughts, the Lord's not going to pardon them for their disrespect of the doctrine and his existence. You got it.
Let's go back to your point, right? Meaning you said we trust in something, right?
Right.
This is Isaiah 36, verse 6. Lo, thou trustest in the staff of this broken reed on Egypt. Keep going.
Because they've trusted in darkness, man. They've invested wholly into darkness, man. They've invested into the so-called white man, which is the king of darkness. That motherfucker don't know anything.
Fact.
And he's convinced you that he knows everything, man.
That's a good point. Yes,
So-called white man started in caves, learning from Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and now he done got to a point where he call you savage, where he call you an Indian, where he say you don't know shit. And realistically, we don't, because of the curses. But the Lord has given us the spirit of truth, and with this truth, we breaking down all those strongholds, man. The Lord used the things that are nothing to confound the wise, man, to confound the mighty, man. And that's how the Lord creates the controversy of this movie. Make this movie dramatic, man.
Isaiah 36 and 6. Lo, thou trustest in the staff of this broken reed on Egypt, whereon if a man lean, it will go into his hand and pierce it.
And that's what's about to happen. All these people that are leaned on the spirit of Egypt, they about to the rod is gonna go through their hand, man. And that's gonna equal up the judgment. All these people who walk around laughing, having a good time, they gonna die, man. You got it.
It's, so is Pharaoh, king of Egypt, to all that trust in him.
Exactly. And all these people trust in Pharaoh, man, which is this whole system, man. America not gonna be made great again. It's gonna get destroyed. And the Lord said that. The Lord prophesied that, man. And we pray for the downfall of this wicked ass kingdom. You had our people in slavery, and now you say you want to make it great again. How did it become great, man? Without people being in captivity. That whole doctrine is a slap in the face. But Negroes still in the club, Negroes still shucking and jiving, partying like ain't nothing wrong, man. That's why the Lord gonna kill our people, man. Because they don't take anything serious, man. Everything is a Snapchat and a meme.
It's Isaiah chapter 31, starting at verse 1. Woe unto them that go down to Egypt for help and stay on horses and trust in chariots, because they are many.
And when you look at the word system goes back to pit. Now, when you trust in the spirit of Egypt, you're trusting in this man's system, which is literally a pit. It's literally a trap. Especially for you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. If you haven't found out by now, this place wasn't built for you, man. And all you do is continue the cycle of white supremacy by agreeing with it. You're necessary to your own murder. You're helping him destroy you by not proclaiming what is right and what is wrong. By not standing up to oppression through the spirit of YAHAWASHI. Because you can stand up to oppression and still not be in the right if you're not using the spirit of YAHAWASHI. The Black Panthers stood up to oppression, but they were dismantled and destroyed. The Lord ain't destroying this.
If I can say this too, that's why a lot of our people that's in those other countries, they want to come over here to prosper. You better off staying where you at. This place is going to fucking get blown to smithereens.
This
man.
is a pit.
And you better off staying where the fuck you at.
Coming here to get judged, though.
Yeah, exactly.
It's beautiful that you said that, because the reason why, what you gotta understand is that when you read Psalms 83, man, there was a confederate made with these heathen nations, man, to keep Jake on the bottom of the totem pole, man. So all these other nations want to come to America to profit, because they know that they have the nation of Israel and subjected here, the bulk of us. Now, who's the #1 buying force in America? Jake, man. Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. So when these other nations come here, they know that they're going to get a store right in our neighborhoods, man. They know exactly who they're coming to exploit.
Right.
Here it is, the little kid just got stabbed up,
That,
brutally murdered in the Bronx just
Yeah,
recently, man. Junior just got brutally murdered in the Bronx. Some fucking Moabite was selling Rest in Peace Junior chains in his shop, man. And the family went in there like, nah, y'all making money off this? Y'all making so these fucking heathens, man. Hey, when I seen that, the Most High put a spirit on me, man. I was in my crib pacing back and forth, just these heathens know what the fuck they're doing, man. They don't respect you, man. But here it is, y'all will kill each other, man. Y'all will cut each other up, shoot each other in the face, cut each other down in the streets like dogs, but these heathens will spit in your face and disrespect you on the everyday, and you ain't gonna do shit, man. And you know why? It's because the Most High put a spirit on you not to do shit, man.
I got a precept. This is Luke chapter 16, verse 20. Man, I gotta start at 19. There was a certain rich man which was clothed in purple and fine linen and fared sumptuously every day. And there was a certain beggar named Lazarus which was laid at his gate full of sores and desiring to be fed with the crumbs which fell from the rich man's table. Moreover, the dogs came and licked his sores. Now, when you go into Psalm 22, I believe, it said the dogs compass me about. Now, that was a prophecy about Yahawashi, and who was putting Yahawashi to death? The Romans, man. But the other nations are considered dogs too, because the Lord said that it's not meat to give the children of the bread to the dogs, man. So the heathen nations are likened unto dogs, and our nation is Lazarus in that parable, man.
Except Esau. Because Job said you can't even.
Esau's under the dog.
But Job said it. We can't disdain to put you amongst our dogs, man.
Exactly.
So that's side note.
Now you good, huh?
Side note.
Because he said, and Lazarus, and they licked the wounds of Lazarus, man. And that's what happens. Our nation is destroyed, and none of these heathen nations desire to put us in graves because they too